News that China is launching an anti-subsidy probe into dairy imports from the European Union, adding it to its targets in the bloc's agricultural industry. Ollie Crook's back. Let's talk about this. Ollie, we were talking about what Europe did yesterday on the car front. Yogurt seems to be the response.
Yeah, yogurt seems to be a response for the moment, and obviously this is going to be very closely watched in terms of where they decide to dial up this pressure on the European market here. I mean, they've talked about doing things on pork. They've talked about doing things on spirits. We've always seen this across the French market, whether it's the sort of alcohol makers, the luxury trade, but also cars, right, Guy? Because it's not just the imports of EVs, it's the exports of those super expensive, valuable, large engine cars that they make here in Europe that go over to China. Those are really, really important. When you look at the sort of trade breakdown between China and the EU, you look at what the EU exports the most over into China. Number one on that is motor cars and motor vehicles, but we should say that has been a historically very large number. That has been falling in recent years. Number two is medications. Then there's other machinery and other motor vehicle parts. Those are the major sort of exports from the EU into China. When you look at the actual trade balance in terms of the only categories in which Europe runs a trade surplus with China, that is only in food and drink, it's in raw materials, and it used to be, it no longer is, basically since the invasion of Ukraine, chemicals and energy. So these are all the sectors that could be hit. It's interesting, though, Guy, that they decided to hit agriculture and they decided to hit dairy because, as we know, there are huge volumes of subsidies that come from the EU into the farming sector and all across the agricultural sector. So it'll be very interesting to see where this goes. But, of course, the massive sort of trade surplus is in China's favor, so any sort of pain will be felt probably more by China than it possibly ever could by the Europeans.